So the reason I'm still talking about this machine today is because you can find a M1 13-inch MacBook Pro for around $700 to $850 at the time of this video. There's so many ways to find this laptop cheap. I was able to find some on eBay. Thankfully, this machine doesn't have all the issues the 2015-16 MacBook Pros did with the butterfly keyboards and the display flex issues. To give you a little bit of history, I'm a 16-inch, 17-inch MacBook Pro kind of guy. Always the beefiest, the biggest, better for me. The bigger the laptop, the more everything for me. One of the first things I want to touch base with is performance. Originally, when I purchased this machine, it seemed like it was a setback. I was limited to only 16 gigabytes of RAM and I was limited to a tiny 13-inch screen. Back then, I was looking for something that had the M1 chip just because I did a lot of video editing and I needed something that was able to keep up with the stuff I was doing. And I did have a beefier 15-inch machine back then, and I could truly say I never felt a setback going from the 15-inch to the 13-inch as far as performance. The M1 is more than enough capable of editing. Literally through the entire pandemic, I got through so many videos. This thing was my workhorse. Editing super big timelines in Final Cut, thrown everything, visual effects, everything you can imagine, Lightroom, and I never, not even once, had one issue. The transition from Intel to an M1 chip, there was no transition for me. There was no sense of I'm missing out on anything. If anything, I felt like I was getting a lot more due to now being able to download apps that you can on Intel machines through the App Store. Semi-pro users, it is more than enough. You're getting enough of everything, and it just feels like you have a 32, 64 gigabyte RAM machine. For some reason, I don't know what it is, placebo, or just it's so optimized that it just works so good. You are not feeling like you're getting a sluggish 16 gigabytes of RAM machine. Even while editing big video projects, you are not going to be slowed down. Performance is not something you're going to sacrifice on this machine. And if you're just a college student that needs to open a few apps, internet browsing, and maybe you need to do some casual editing, this is more than enough. I know it's tempting to get the latest and greatest because we watch a bunch of videos on new tech and how it's 5 seconds faster getting the newer chip. And that's great, it will be faster, but for the average person, it's more than enough. Semi-pro user that only edits a few projects every few weeks, every few months, this is more than enough. One of the things that shocked me the most about this machine was the battery life. God, this thing is insane. When I say I could put this thing through so many things, and this, at the end of the day, the M1 was still rocking hard and never give me any last minute battery dying. It's crazy when you're coming from an Intel processor and not so optimized with heat. The way the machine stays cool all day, even while video editing, you will barely notice the fan kicking in. Even then, it will only kick in for 5 minutes and then quiet down. Super quiet machine. Even right now, this is a laptop I'm using for my notes. You can't even hear this thing. Can't hear it. Jumping into design, you're getting an Apple laptop, you're getting quality, you're getting a sturdy machine. You're not gonna get any cheap plastic. The keyboard, you're not getting a butterfly keyboard. You're getting top-notch stuff. Nothing feels flimsy, nothing feels like it's gonna break. You're getting an Apple machine, which is meant to last. One of the things that could be a setback for you, but it actually ended up being one of the best things for me, is the screen size. At 13 inches, you are obviously getting a smaller machine compared to 15 or 16 inches, 14 now. The benefits that come with that are so much greater. And the way it worked in my workflow is that anytime I needed to edit anything that was heavy duty, needed several hours of my day, I opted to get an ultra wide monitor, and that would cover any of my timeline stuff and still use the M1 for its display. Since it has a really good screen, I could use that for color correcting, color grading, and I would use my ultra wide for any timeline things I would edit. And whenever I was out and about, it just became such a nice thing to have, because when you're having a 15, 16-inch laptop, these things are huge. They're nearly like bricks and taking them around or even wanting to take them is such a hassle, and you always have to be worrying about it fitting in the bag you have. This machine could literally fit anywhere. Its portability speaks for itself. It's sleek, it's easy to take anywhere. And that's what did it for me. I ended up keeping this machine, and still to this day, I will always pick up the M1, the 13-inch anywhere it is, because I know that that thing does not weigh anything, and it's just so easy to take and carry. It's portable, it's light, it doesn't break your hands. So if you're thinking of buying an older M1 2020 machine, you will be happy, and I guarantee that you will love this machine, and it is more than enough today in 2023. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. If you would like to stay in this journey with me, please hit the subscribe button for any future content and hit that bell to be notified when my next video drops. My name is Roberto Diaz. Have a great one.